Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining this new webinar on how to believe in yourself and humanity. Yeah, please let me know in the chat where you're connecting from, how excited you are about attending this, what you're looking forward to, so we can really get into it. Yeah, really, as usual with my webinars, I really invite this webinar to be very interactive, whether it's in the chat or whenever you have questions. And yeah, I'm just going to start sharing my screen. And all right, where can I put? Oh yeah, here can I put this? Great. So I see. Yeah, yeah, and please also, if you can, turn your cameras on, so I can see you, so I'm not just speaking to myself, but actually though to you who are connecting here. Great. All right, put this here. Just getting organized. Yeah. And chat. Okay. All right. So how to believe in yourself and humanity. Yeah, the title of this webinar came to my mind, I think quite quickly after the last webinar of how to close the gap between our ideals and reality, just during a walk. Because yeah, we're in this situation where, you know, we are actually at times of, even here in the Western world, where we feel like we have had peace, peace in the world is in danger, and that makes us think again, and makes me think again about this dream I have of contributing to world peace, and this dream that sometimes I was struggling with because I was just struggling even with myself. So yeah, one of quotes of True Father that really inspires me connecting to this topic is that we have two purposes in our life. One is the purpose of our own lives. The other is the purpose of our lives in relation to others, to our family, our nation, or the whole world. So this is really two purposes that we have. And they're both very, very connected, actually, related to each other. They're not really, we sometimes separate them. Oh, am I living for others? Am I being selfish? And this is not reality. Reality is very harmonious, actually. You know, we have tendency with our minds to separate them and things like this. And it's really interesting how, you know, I was talking about how, you know, we first need to work on ourselves and things like this. I remember many years ago, I was also struggling with what we were doing in unification movement. And I was doing organizing meetings to how to improve a movement, what you need to change. And after having done that, it was interesting. I realized what we need to focus on is actually first changing ourselves. That's why I've dedicated the past few years so much into personal development and coaching, helping others, because I realized this is the best way to change anything, any organization, any nation, any world, or anything like this. So yeah, just for you to get the best out of this webinar, prepare something to take notes, prepare some water to drink, yeah, find a comfortable position to sit, turn on your cameras. Thank you so much for your cameras on. That's really helpful to interact, to see your reactions, to see your attention. Yeah, mics are off, but you know, there's moments where asking questions or sharing things where you can turn on your mic. If there's any connection problem, either from your side or from my side, no stress, just breathe, move your body, you know, be in the present moment. And anytime you can ask questions in the chat, I'll be happy to respond either immediately or when it's the right moment. All right. Yeah, I was saying taking notes, because you're 42% more likely to achieve your goal simply by writing it down. You also 80% more chances to retain it, just to remember what you wrote down. So that's why this is so powerful. So first, I have some questions for you. So who would like to believe more in themselves and their ability to contribute to a better world. Who would like to believe more in that? All right, yeah, can you raise your hand with the camera or put a sign, respond to the chat? Great, okay. And who would like to believe more in others and humanity's ability to contribute to a better world? All right, great. Yeah, just, I think most of you already know about me, but just very briefly, you know, I've been married for 17 years. I have 3 children. I've been into table tennis for many years. I've been to spiritual leadership. I'm currently a community leader in South Paris, French youth department leader. I'm a life and performance coach. And I invested actually a lot of time, energy, and money in the past few years into my professional and personal development. And everything I'm sharing actually in this webinar and other webinars comes from all these learnings, and not just theoretical learning, but actually applying it in my life and learning from experiences. So I want to share a bit about my journey, specifically on the question of belief, specifically on the question of belief. So I remember many years I was investing into table tennis, but I always felt less talented and behind others in table tennis. I felt like I had to, yeah, I always was comparing myself and seeing, wow, I'm at this level at this age, but this guy at the same age is better, or this guy, he's younger and he's already my level, and just constant comparison. And I remember at one moment I wanted to go into a school where you could combine school and sports, you know, sports and studies together. And I remember they rejected me because I was too old and not good enough at my level, and they accepted other players. So, but what happened is that I decided to create my own. You know, I went to a high school where they had like special sports studies combination for judo and football, and I decided to join the school, have the same schedule, and then have more time to train every evening in my table tennis club. And then after 3 years, I was way better than all the others who got accepted in the sports and studies where I was rejected. Yeah, because I kept working harder and actually than anyone else, you know. I remember even like at one moment, I finally, for many years, I didn't qualify to the national championships. Finally, the last year of my youth under 18 category, I qualified, and I was playing doubles, and I was playing with my partner, and we were like ranking number 20 and number 30 in France in our category. And in one of the games, we were playing against number 1 and number 2 in France, so the 2 best players. And I remember that my coach, he had some other things to do, and he said, good luck, and he just went away. He didn't believe that we could actually win. Luckily, the coach of my partner stayed with us and helped us. And finally, at the end, we were able, like on the very, very tightly, win this game, yeah, against number 1 and number 2 in France, even though we were like really far away in terms of ranking. And actually, even when my coach came back and I shared him, he's like, yeah, you're joking, you know, you're joking, you're making fun. And he had to go to the sheet, the drawing, to see that actually the official result came out. He's like, really? So this is how it's difficult sometimes, because to believe in ourselves, because sometimes others don't believe in us as well. And it's important to go beyond this. I remember also one thing that happened is when I went to STF, before moving to STF, I struggled a lot with my faith. I also struggled a lot with addictions like porn addiction. I remember going to STF and I felt like I'm the worst blessed child that exists in the world. That's how I felt, really. I had no clue. I had no clue that so many others were struggling as well, having a hard time. I went to STF and I had this belief, I'm the worst in the world, you know? Nobody can be worse than me. And then by going through STF, first of all, I realized, first of all, that I'm not the only one struggling. and I also started to transform. I started to see that I can change, I can develop things, I can develop my faith, I can develop my confidence, I can overcome, you know, my struggles with integrity. Actually, there's a high noon summit going on. We planned it at the same time. So anyway, and I couldn't change the date. But yeah, if you're interested in this topic, I encourage you also to follow the summit after this webinar. Yeah. Then I went. I need to make a decision to go to the matching and blessing. And what I felt when I was deciding, I felt I'm not feeling ready to be a great husband. I felt a strong calling from God's spiritual world that I should go to blessing, but in my mind, I was telling myself, "You're not ready. You're not ready. You shouldn't go." And I was fighting for like this for a week until I finally went there. And how did I manage to finally make this decision, even though I didn't believe that I am a great husband now, is that I just decided to commit to become one. I committed to the blessing. I committed to become a great husband, and I committed to make my blessing in marriage work no matter what. And that experience was when after 1 year of STF, I became an STF team leader, and later I even became a director. And every time I got these new responsibilities, I felt so unqualified. I felt so overwhelmed. I felt so, oh my God, I'm not enough. I don't have the skills. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the experiences and everything. But because I felt the calling, I did it anyway. And I learned and I grew in the process. And I actually did, in my 3rd year of STF, when I was a team leader, I felt, wow, I felt like I was managing so well, even though at the beginning I felt, wow, overwhelmed. And, this can happen for anything, that at the first when we start something new or something difficult, that we feel like we're lacking, we don't believe in ourselves, but we actually always can learn and grow. Yeah, also had this idea of creating a football. The Youth Phoenix project was creating a football team of 2nd gen in Europe. And when I decided I wanted to create a team from all the nations in Europe and go to Korea to the IPSF, the Interreligious Peace Sports Festival. And I remember again, so many people didn't believe in that project. Maybe like, yeah, that you can't do it. And I was on STF. I was on STF. And while I was on STF, being a team leader, managing to inspire people, start a first football workshop, doing football workshops all around Europe, and building a team from trying to find the best 2nd gen football players in Europe. And you finally made it. We finally made it. We went to Korea, and that was it was a challenge, but it was really amazing experience. And the last thing is, even after STF, my journey, at one moment I really felt lack of purpose and lack of balance in my life. I felt overwhelmed, and I really felt like a failure towards God, to parents, my family. I was full focused on my job, and I felt like I was not contributing to the providence, and also was like leaving behind my family, not taking care enough of my family. And again, I felt like a failure. I didn't believe in myself. And that's actually, that was really my lowest point, was in 2015, when, the moment where I shared about meeting, this video I shared and things like this. And actually then, this is where I went deeply into personal growth. And then from going deeply into personal growth, working on myself, that's why I managed progressively to move towards a life, a more harmonious life of contribution. And actually also have faith in the changes I was making, also have more faith again in humanity. In this dream, I had world peace. And after a few years, I was like, when I went to STF, I was like, yes, world peace is possible. But then after a few years struggling myself, it was difficult to connect to that dream again. So just want to share about this journey, and my goal in sharing this is not to impress you. I'm sure you all have this kind of experience in your life as well, where you struggled and you could overcome and you could, learn and grow and things like this. But it's just to impress upon you that it's possible. It's possible to change your beliefs in reality, even though you first feel blocked. To change your beliefs in reality about yourself, about humanity and the world. So let's take a moment and imagine, how would your life look like if you would believe in yourself and humanity's ability to make this world a better place, to make world peace. take a moment to be like, yes, if I not just hope, not just faith, faith, maybe. No, a belief that's like almost like a deep knowing. I know it's gonna happen. I know that I can live a better life. I can contribute more, and the world can be a better place. Really try to connect this to this. Yeah. So yeah, this was just the introduction. This is warm up. But yeah, now we're gonna ready. So are you ready for transformation? Are you ready for transformation? Because today I have less content than last webinar, but we're gonna take more time to go deeply. So yeah, just wondering, is this also your experience, that you dream about world peace, but when you see the world's current situation, you struggle to believe in it sometimes? When you look at conflicts and things like this, is it sometimes difficult? Or you deeply want to contribute to a better world, but often you're barely able to take care of yourself. And you wonder if someday you would be able to do it, to actually be able to contribute, because you're just struggling to take care of yourself. You have high ideals, but when you keep struggling with the same shortcomings in yourself, you don't believe anymore that you can reach them. You believe that deep inside, everyone is a good person, but you keep getting into conflicts in relationships. Like, wow, why and how is this happening over again? Or you spend a lot of time trying to serve others and serve a higher purpose, yeah, but struggle to take care of your own life. And it's hard to believe that you actually can do both. So who is experiencing this sometimes? At least some of them. Yeah, thank you. So I will share a slide I shared last time about the concept of bending reality. The concept of bending reality is when you are able to have an inspiring future vision here, and also actually be happy now, happy about what's happening, and grateful for what's happening now, confident about what's happening now. And that's where you're in a state of bending reality and where you feel like everything is in flow. It's not like this place of stress where you look, yes, there's a great future, there's great world peace in the future, but right now I'm struggling so much and it's so difficult, Or it's not this place where you feel like, yeah, life is nice, I'm comfortable, but yeah, I don't see any improvement possible, but it's okay. or this place, the worst place, where you're in the negative spiral, where you have no hope for the future and you're really struggling right now, So the goal, everything is connected here. So believing in a future, positive future vision in your life and humanity and the world, and also already experiencing it now, seeing how it's already true now, that's where we can get there. So yeah, next thing I want to share is, is how actually beliefs go in cycles. So I shared this last time, but we didn't go very deeply. We have certain beliefs, which have also certain thoughts, like I was sharing in my experiences, thinking what I was thinking, whether I'm good enough, qualified or ready, whatever. And yeah, these beliefs and thoughts create certain feelings, how we feel about ourselves, and then also make certain actions, and these actions bring results. And the problem is that if we have negative beliefs and thoughts, or limiting beliefs and thoughts, then also have more like negative feelings, which create to negative actions or inaction, lack of action, which then doesn't produce the results we want, and then makes us believe again how bad we are, how unqualified we are. We're kind of proving to ourselves that we're not good enough, And as you can see, it's a cycle that can be negative or positive. And this is really a key element, the beliefs, because without the beliefs, it's very difficult to take action when you don't believe you actually can do it. For example, just yesterday, I had a coaching call, and one person on the call was struggling to make a list of habits she would like to develop to get closer to a vision. You know, she created a vision, and then she needed to write a list of habits that will help her to reach her vision. And she struggled to do this exercise, and we went in. It's like, oh, how come there was some resistance to do the exercise? You know, of course, it's not an easy exercise, but how come? You know, and she's like, yeah, it's because so many times in the past I tried to develop these habits and I failed. So it's a belief that what's the point of writing these habits if I failed so many times in the past anyway to not do them? And of course, during the call, I made her realize that the past does not define the present or the future. And the way she was going to work on these habits now is going to be very different from before, because she has worked so much more on her vision, on her mindset and everything. But this is how to show you how we can feel blocked. The beliefs are also very connected to where is our focus, you know? Our focus is very often focus on this gap here, the difference between an amazing future and our current reality. Sometimes the present is not such a smiley face, it's like more this face as well. When you focus on this gap, what is missing, what is lacking, and everything, that's where it's very difficult to believe, you know. And what we need to learn to do is looking more at there, how far we've come, what have we already learned, what did we already accomplish, or focus more there, just being there in the present, focus on the present, taking action and things like this, or being here and connecting to an inspiring vision. But this place, we need to look at it in order to make a plan of action to get there. But that's the only moment. The rest of the time, it's better to be here, to connect to inspiring vision, to look at, you know, when we struggle to believe, to go back in the past and see how we have overcome things in the past, you know. So, for example, one thing we can do is to gain confidence is actually writing down what makes you believe, the reasons why you believe in yourself and humanity. How are you and humanity already contributing to a better world? What are your strengths and gifts that can help you to do that? What past successful experience give you the faith and confidence to succeed? And who will help you succeed to live this kind of life of contribution? Is it your family? Is it teachers, mentors? Is it friends? Is it God? Is it heavenly parents? Whatever it is. So I invite you to take a moment now to write down, and Victor's going to put some, I didn't introduce Victor. Victor is a magic technician here. He's also doing other Zooms and different calls. Thanks so much, Victor. So you're going to put some music on, and you can reflect about what makes you believe already now. What gives you confidence already now about you and humanity by reflecting on these questions? Because on connecting this, you will strengthen them. Try to really write it down, make it more substantial. Don't keep it just inside your head. All right, have a good reflection time. right. Yeah, so actually, who would like to share the experiences of this reflection? Like either how you felt reflecting, or maybe some reasons you wrote down that you found that really gave you confidence. Who would like to share something? Everybody can, of course, share in the chat. But for example, if you, who would like to speak and share with everyone? In this way, you strengthen your belief by speaking it out. Sometimes when I do group coaching calls, people have done their homework, and then once they speak it and they share with somebody, it becomes even stronger, and also inspires others. You know, so in this way, you make you strengthen your own beliefs and also those of others. Bernard.
Yeah, yeah. Do you hear me like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Just one thing, but I believe in the nature is very well made. So I have some hope, because the animals and plants and the human body is very well made. So I have some hope that it will work.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, it's true. Nature is working well. Our body, our brains, our hearts, everything is so well designed to function well. We need to know, just sometimes we don't know how to use it well. Yeah, we haven't read exactly, you know, how to use it, whether it's our body's nature, all the capacities. So yeah, thank you so much, Werner, for sharing. Anybody else would like to share? Hugo, yeah?
Hello, Rafael.
Hello.
Thank you, for this webinar, I must say. No, these questions are irritating me, because they make me try to find or to look in the mirror and try to find out, where am I for the moment, So, how to believe in yourself. What is your strength? Did you have already successes in your life? What are they? I'm more a person who put more the things in the negative sense always. I'm a little bit perhaps that point of always thinking I'm not good enough or not well enough. So it takes me quite an effort to find out for myself, how can I get victory? But I believe in the victory. I believe in victory. I believe for sure, because why? Because my faith in God. That's it. If I will not have that faith in God, probably I will not be able to manage my life. Probably.
Why do you have faith in God? What are your experiences?
Well,
what are the concrete experience you had in your life that make you believe that?
Well, it's not a belief, I would say. God is a reality for me, because I have, before my life, it started when I was 12 years old, that I had seen miracles happening in my life. This have concrete answers from my prayers. So God, the relationship of God is not just a concept. It's really a living, lively relationship. And that is actually what makes me strong and keeps me strong in the sense, for sure. We will a beautiful, nice future. That for sure. But how much I can contribute that, how much I disappointed God so far, and his expectations, that are daily questions I'm asking, that for sure.
Wow.
I'm talking too much, perhaps. But,
no. Thank you for sharing. It's really insightful. So you had concrete experiences of God, and that really gives you so much faith. It's something totally real for you, and not conceptual. And the other part about focus on the positive and negative. We need both. It's not like we should only think positive and we should never look at what's missing. It's important. It's just everybody needs to find their balance that's functioning well, and the balance for each person can be very different. So you know, maybe this balance that you have right now, focusing a lot more on what's missing, if that works for you, great, don't change it. If you feel like, oh, maybe a little bit more focus on the positive could help me to be more inspired, to have more confidence, then that's maybe something you can search without needing to change everything, without needing to become another person. Because if you're here today, I believe that the way you are functioning so far has been a certain way for successful. And
your last question is also very important, Rafael. Who is there to help and to support you?
Yes.
This is also very important in the sense of brothers and sisters, leaders, call it, and having a concrete and a good active give and take with them. This is really a support which helps actually in keeping a positive view, or vision. Or
we're not by ourselves. We're not by ourselves. It's not only depending on us. Thank you so much, Hugo. Please, and also thank you, Diana, sharing. When you look at humanity, you can see positive developments. Even humanity is quite slow in growing. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we see the bad things. Sometimes we feel like it's taking time, but as long as it is developing, that's already great, you know. Great things take time. All right, thank you so much. So, you know, after this, you know, looking back at this cycle again. Oh, can you see my screen? Oh, no, you cannot see my screen. Because I wanted to see you while speaking with you. So I will share my screen again. Yes, all right. So as you've seen, when you think about what is already going well, it can give more feeling of confidence. And when I say confidence, it can be faith in God, confidence in yourself, and mixed together, you know. We don't have to separate those things. And it helps you take more action, So that doesn't mean that feeling like something is missing cannot make us take action. It can also help us. But if we're only there, then it can be very draining. So really, you know, having this belief that the result we want, world peace, a better world, you know, harmonious families we want is really possible. This is how we can really cultivate this, you know. And again, you know, when the exercise you did is looking at this reverse gap, looking at the reverse gap, looking at the present to have more confidence and faith about the future. Transforming your past. Yeah, it's great to, you know, I was just helping you to focus on what was great. Yeah. And maybe when you were looking at it, you were only seeing the negative things. Yeah, but I did so many mistakes in my past. I suffered so much. I made other people suffer. I made God suffer, you know. What is important is always that your past does not define your present and future. That's why God opens the doors every day again and again, because he does not even define us by our past, you know. The door is always open again, again, and again, and again, you know. So why are we closing the doors when God is opening the doors every day, you know? And tell ourselves that because of the past, we know this or that. So what is important is to be able to change limiting beliefs. So an exercise we can do is looking at what are the beliefs that are limiting me in my contribution. For example, I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified enough. And I'm not saying these beliefs are not useful, because feeling not qualified can help you to see, I want to improve. Yeah. But if you only focus, I'm not good enough, I'm good enough, I will never be good enough, that's very limiting. If you focus on, okay, I need to develop the skills and I want to improve them and I will do this, that's empowering belief. So that's why when you think I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified, replace it either by a empowering belief or maybe an empowering question. How can I be qualified? What can I improve? What can I do? And that's already very different from just looking, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't know how to organize myself. I recently did an exercise, and you can also do this if you want to. I wrote down, I was looking at a limiting belief that was blocking me. And I wrote on the paper, and then I burned it. And I wrote a new empowering belief. So the limiting belief I had was, I'm not organized enough to fulfill my life mission in a balanced way with my family life. So I had this belief, like, and what's interesting is that sometimes this belief is also helpful in a way that it helps me to focus on being more organized. But if I'm too much focused on it, I feel drained. I don't feel confidence. I don't feel energy and things like this. So what I replaced it with is that I can fulfill my life mission in the balanced way with my family life by focusing on what gives me energy, by focusing on my highest values that inspire me, that move me. Because organization, of course, is a skill, but actually we are naturally well organized in the things that we feel passionate about, that we feel inspired about, you know. So by focusing on just the skill organization, I was limiting myself instead of focusing on what I enjoy, and then naturally being well organized around this. And then also looking, sometimes we had past challenges, and trauma is a two-step thing. There's the experience and the interpretation of experience. Trauma is, I have this experience and only bad things come out of it, or mostly bad things come out of it. That is what trauma is, you know. But if I look at how certain challenges in my life actually help me grow, help me become the person I am today, the strength I have today, then it's not a trauma anymore. I know it's not easy. I'm saying like it's easy. It's not easy to do. I just want to share that this is possible. I tried sometimes to do it by myself. I got help by a coach to do it. There are great coaches and therapists who are doing this. And this is really possible to actually look. Even recently, I had a coaching session where I went back to a moment where I felt very, how you call it? I felt hurt by trying to do mission and feeling like not being appreciated for what I was doing, not feeling supported in what I was doing. And after this experience, for a few years, I was very reluctant in contribution to the movement. I felt, and for many years, I felt like, this experience crushed me down. I only felt this. I only thought from this lens, it crushed me. And afterwards, I was afraid and things like this. But recently, when I looked at it again, it's like traveling in time. I realized that first of all, there was many positive things that came out of it. First of all, I was not taking care of my family. So I took a break, and it was good for me also to take a certain break and take care of my family, first of all. Secondly, I made a decision that day. I remember that I had the experience that if I contribute again, I will do it differently. I will do it differently from this time. I will not repeat. I took responsibility as well. It's like, I will not repeat the same mistakes. I will do it differently. And then also, when I finally decided to contribute more again to the movement in France, I had even like stronger motivation, stronger drive. I really wanted to do it. I actually want to do it because I was missing it. I was lacking the sense of purpose and fulfillment of contribution. And then when I realized this in the session, I realized, no, this experience was not a trauma that crushed me for the rest of my life. This was a challenging experience, but a lot of positive things came out of it. So yeah, I invite you now to take some reflection time again. And you can either do both exercises or just one of them. Either what are the limiting beliefs you have right now that are blocking you, and how you can replace them with empowering beliefs or questions, or looking at some challenges that you had in your life that you felt difficult about, and trying to look at how they actually helped you and how they helped you grow today. All right, have a great reflection time. And you can go look at the challenge, either start with maybe a small one, if you feel like starting with a small one, or you want to go for the one that's the most difficult one, go for it. That's really up to you. Right. I hope you had a great reflection time. Who would like to share an insight you had looking at this? Maybe somebody was able to identify a limiting belief and transform it into a positive one, or looking at a challenging experience and seeing how it made them grow. Or maybe you identified the challenging part, but you didn't manage to transform it and you like help. This is also a possibility. Yes, Lisa. You can also share in the chat. You're muted still?
No, I'm unmuted. Okay.
Now it's great.
Yeah.
I do.
What I find in the limiting already for quite some time is that, well, I'm getting old, I'm getting tired, I've had my share in the Providence, and yeah, this feeling of getting old and tired and not really wanting to invest anymore. So this is quite limiting for me, but then I realize, well, I don't have to do the big things. If just in my daily life I do small things, being nice, taking care of people, and yeah, taking care of people, and I'm not so much more anymore the frontline person to go on the street with a table and preach or something, but just in personal talks, I realize I can be still strong. And then when I talk to some people just in a normal situation, then I realize really the value of the principle and the value of what the parents give us. And then I feel, well, just contributing in this way is better than nothing. So this gives me somehow strength in daily life to. And then concerning trauma, I lost my mother. She died when I was 10 years old, and in my early youth, many times I was suffering and resentful. But then when I was 14, 15, I started to realize, well, actually, this forced me to become adult very quickly, to make decisions and to take responsibility. And then I compared myself to peers of the same age, and I sometimes thought, they are still so childish. So I started to feel some really gratefulness that I had to go through this challenge of losing my mother at a young age, forcing me to grow up and think about the world, think about my life. So, okay, that's what I could share. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing. I'm sure other people can relate about feeling tired. Even I can relate, even though I'm younger. I remember 7 years ago when I was 30, I felt like I was losing my health and thing. But I changed then, and I was able to improve my health and see actually that it's not necessarily more tired. Of course, there's some inevitable things. And yeah, thank you for sharing how you were be able to see the positive side of losing your mother so early. And because my father also lost his father at 10, and yeah, it was difficult, but also he could actually learn and gain a lot out of it. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Lisa. Great.
Welcome.
All right. Yeah, you wanted to share? Oh yeah, please.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you well.
About transforming your past, I think that the phrase is it's very important. Your past does not define your present and future. If we want to transform our past, we have to believe that the present can be used to change the future and to change the past. I mean, the only way we can transform the past is to live in the present, not to live in the past, not to live in the future, but to live in the present. If we live in the present, so we can change the past and build a better future. which belief are limiting me and my contribution. I think that the main limitation is to, how do you say, insecurity, and to be afraid to fail. When we have to do something, what limits us is to be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is one of the biggest limitation. And the best thing to do is, I think, if I have to do something, to prepare myself to face what I have to do. And I think the best way to win the afraidness, paura,
Fear.
the fear, is to face it. That's all. It's like when we have to learn to swim. If we don't go inside the water, we never learn to swim. That's the. So if we are afraid to face a situation, or we are afraid to fail, the best thing to do is to face the situations and to prepare ourselves to, how to say, to face the situation.
Yeah. And accepting that it takes practice, actually, and it takes failure to actually learn and grow and improve.
Yeah, sure.
True.
Actually, we cannot improve if we don't prepare ourselves, if we don't train ourselves. So we need to train ourselves if we want to go to a further level of our growth. And the trauma, I think that all life is a sort of a challenge every day, and so we have to face it day by day. And sure, faith in God, in true parents and their teachings is something that really help a lot. And is something, let's say, a power, an extra power that we can receive and help us to overcome our limitation. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, it's so important that I'll share about this later, but to accept a failure on the path. You know, the person who scored the most decisive basketball shots in history is Michael Jordan. You know, like the last second, and he shot and he scored and he made his team win. But you know who's the person who missed the most decisive shots in basketball history? It's Michael Jordan. Why? It's because he had always the courage to take this decisive shot and to be the one who succeeds or who fails, you know. So the amount of success came also to the amount of being ready to fail. And we don't see that. When we see people who are succeeding, we only see success, but there's so much failure along the way, which is part of it. Yeah, thank you for sharing. All right, I need to share my screen again. Will not forget this time. Yeah, and so once you've decided an empowering belief, or once you've seen what have you developed through a challenging past, you can actually create a daily affirmation, a daily positive affirmation, or lofty question. For example, a daily affirmation could be, I'm confident in success. I'm not afraid to fail, for example. Or for example, no matter how tired I am, I still can contribute in amazing ways, you know. A lofty question is basically the same, but in a question, because sometimes when we do affirmations, when we say something, kind of a subconscious mind tells us, no, it's not true, you know. So by doing empowering questions, lofty questions, you can actually trick the subconscious mind. When you ask yourself, oh, why am I succeeding so well? Or why do I feel so much energy? Or why is failure not a problem for me? Then you actually, it's like your brain is a computer and you're kind of making a command, please give me the answers, or like Google, please give me the answers to this question. And then your brain is automatically going to find the answers of the questions and give you the positive reasons why you actually have this belief. So that's something great, to identify these things and then to repeat them in your daily life. I can share a video later. I mean, not show tonight because it's a long video, but I can share a video link later on about lofty questions. Yeah, so see again, you know, in the past, if we change how we view our past, then again, this cycle can be very, very different. And if we can even get to the feeling where we feel unstoppable, that even challenges, we start to embrace them in the present, you know, because sometimes we finally see the lesson of the challenge after many years. But how about we almost like immediately, while we going through the challenge now, we say, you ask ourselves already in the challenge, oh, how I'm going to go through this? How this is going to enable me to contribute more going through this now, you know? So that's even makes it even stronger. Yeah, so you see again here, we look at the reverse gap, and we really transform by seeing how we have grown, how we think, and then we change in the present. Yeah, as it was shared before, we change in the present, no matter how difficult it was in the past. Yeah. So one important thing is that sometimes it's difficult to believe in this future, and we look at this gap that's very scary. But the problem is that we look at this future and sometimes we aim for it too quickly, that it's not in our realm of reach. So, and it's because we usually overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, but we grossly underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. So when you set goals for the year, we have a tendency to want to do everything in 1 year, but usually we overestimate it and we just struggle and fail, and then we don't believe in ourselves. But when you look at 10 years from now, or even just 5 years from now, you can dream much more, and it's actually possible, you know, to be in a different life. Look at your life now and look at back from 10 years, how you're different from 10 years ago, what you've learned, how much you've grown. It's like, and now imagine you 10 years from now, where you could be, you know, based on this. And maybe even more, because you gain more belief and confidence in yourself. Yeah. And then what's important, Rafael says this, first decide a point of purpose consistent with God's will. So you find your vision, where you want to be 5 years, 10 years from now, your mission. Then connect your conscience with that objective. You know, just really be focused on that. Accurately plot your direction. Okay, how gonna get there, and make a plan, and then pour all your effort along this straight line, you know, until you get there. And no matter how many times you actually fail, you have obstacles, you have challenges, it's part of the journey, you know. So this is how we actually work in our lives. You know, we've created this life vision. We created this in 2019, our life vision in 2024. And it helped us to dream, but also, you know, then concretely start action towards it and things like this. I'm going to share like a summary of our vision. Our vision is like many pages and pictures and everything, but I'm going to share a summary. And when I wrote this down, it was not the current reality. Yeah. And now slowly it's become real. Some of it is not the reality either still now, but that's okay. You know, I was watching The Greatest Showman again, and The Greatest Showman is a good movie about this, about having these dreams, even though your current reality is it's that difficult, you know, and pursuing it, you know. So my vision is I have great health, a lot of energy all day long to take care of my family, serve a higher purpose, and travel all my life, you know. And I wrote this, I was struggling as a young dad to get my sleep and to this and that. But since then, I've improved so much already. I align my thoughts, emotions, actions, and being to God's love, wisdom, and goodness. And I continue to learn and grow to be my best. So same again, when I wrote this down, I felt like my thoughts, and emotions, and actions were not that close to God's love and wisdom. But I'm making progress towards it. It's my direction. Yeah. I'm an amazing husband, dad, filial son, brother, uncle, and friend. Again, my love relationship has dramatically changed since I wrote this down. And recently, my relationship with my parents has been, wow, such a deeper level. Even like, for example, I was talking about, you know, transforming your past. I was able to change things that I felt kind of resentment towards my parents to transform it into actually gratitude for what it Gratitude for what they gave me positive anyway, and even gratitude for their imperfections that gave me challenges and helped me grow. You know, we have a common vision as a family aligned with Heavenly Parent. I love my, I mixed it up. I love my family deeply for eternity and show and express my love. Showing and expressing my love was not my strength for many years. But I wrote this down, and since then it became much more a habit, you know. I developed the best personal development programs based on True Parents' teachings, you know, and I don't know if it's the best, but I'm striving towards it continuously. Even like doing this presentation tonight is part of this vision of trying to do this continuously. I work while traveling around the world with my family. Currently with COVID, this is not a reality. And but still, it's a vision for the future. Yeah. Even like we're looking at The Greatest Showman movie yesterday, I realized again, at one moment he was traveling for this concert with this opera singer, separated from his family, and that was really bad. And since then, I have this vision actually even more. If I want to travel and impact the world, I want to do it with my family together. We have enough money for a harmonious life of contribution. So enough to take care of ourselves, but also to contribute to others. We live in a beautiful house with a spiritual training center in the countryside. So right now, I wrote this down, I'm in Paris. I'm not in the countryside and anything. I'm living in an apartment. And you know, that's not my reality. But actually, in 2 days, we're going to visit a house in Alsace, in east of France, where we're going to move this summer. So we're getting there slowly. Yeah. After renting a house, we will like buy the house, and then the future goal is to create a spiritual training center and a community around this training center. This is most likely not going to happen in 2024. Maybe more like a 2027 vision, or maybe 2030. I don't know. Anyway, it's there. So I want to share this because what I wrote down, this vision, really inspires me. And I feel like this is my purpose, you know? And when I align myself with my divine purpose, my God-given abilities, and what I truly enjoy, I see things seems much easier. Things seems easier. Things work much more in harmony. We feel like everything goes in flow. I'm sure you have all experienced working on a project, working on something where, wow, it's a difficult job, but it seems so easy for me because it inspires me, because it gives me energy, inspiration. I remember in February, I was preparing a Sunday service and suddenly I had COVID. But I was so inspired to prepare the Sunday service that even though I was like so exhausted, preparing the Sundays gave me just enough energy to make it through, you know. And we feel like nothing can stop us, and we have really deep, unstoppable confidence. And not just in us, but also in Heavenly Parent, and in life, in ourselves, everything. So yeah, so that's why it's so important to connect growth and contribution, you know. So you can ask yourself this question: what kind of contribution, actions, activities, and experience naturally give you energy, confidence, inspiration? Instead of many times when people come go to a coach, they say, oh, how can I be more motivated? What are the tools and tricks to be more motivated? And actually my answer is that the best tool and trick is actually to define goals and projects that actually really inspire you. So you don't have to force yourself to be motivated. It's there, it's built in, it's designed in what you're actually pursuing, you know. And I believe God designed us in a certain way, each of us uniquely, to feel inspired about certain things, to contribute to specific things. And actually sometimes when we're not motivated, it's just our original mind indicating us that we're pursuing the wrong goal. And there's no point trying to fix it. And just maybe listen to that inner wisdom as well. So you can ask yourself, what change do you want to see in the world? You know, we're in the video, we're talking about become the change you want to see in the world. And then once you write down what is the change you want to see in the world, why is it important for you? Who do you need to become to contribute to this change? What knowledge, skills, and character traits do you need? You know. So yeah, actually some reflection time again. You guys enjoy the reflection time, the exercises? Do you enjoy it? Who enjoys this? Please show with your hands on the video. Yeah, this is a practical webinar, yeah, not just theoretical one. So please enjoy your reflection time about this question. It's really powerful. Right. Hope you had a great reflection time. Anybody like to share something that insight? And you don't need to answer all the questions. Just if you had an insight about something that inspires you, or something you would like to change in the world, or something you'd like to improve in you to be able to do that. You can also share in the chat. Right? We don't have to, but if somebody wants to, it's still possible. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, it's new. Nobody is volunteering.
Yeah.
But I found it very interesting question, I must say. Yeah, and of course, from my side, yeah, everything is a little bit concentrated on God, and what inspires me the most is actually when I can talk about God, when I have the ability to share my experiences with God. That is what inspires me the most.
Wow.
What gives me the most energy. But it's not always that easy, because very often you are faced with misunderstanding, with people who cannot join you in the same feelings or same understanding. So it's also sometimes a source of frustration. No? And then what you would like to become, or what this question there, of course important is integrity. Yeah.
Wow.
To become and to be a person of integrity. This is my, if you could say, my goal for myself, because there I see, there are many challenges on the way for not compromising your own integrity, their integrity towards God and towards the others, to be myself. I'm not a person that want to be what the others want me to be.
Yeah.
But I want to be somebody who is integral in front of God and in front of myself, and that I find most important. Yeah, that's just a reflection. Yeah, Rafael. So.
Thank you so much, Hugo, for sharing that. I love it. Yeah.
I wrote many things down, but I will keep it to that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And I see Carlos shared, I can understand that I need to be helped and be equal worthy to others' care. We need more care and empathy from one another. Yes. Yeah. Helping each other. Definitely it's needed. All right. I think some people wanted to share, but if it's okay, because of time, is it okay if we continue? Or you wanted to share?
I just want to say that because we are church members since a long time, some of the answer of this question are quite scontate, come si dice? Quite clear. Like what change do you want to see in the world? Actually, we would like to see the ideal world of the of the ideal world of God, of course, the realization of three blessing. And the perfection, the individual level, family level, and perfection in the creation. That's is why it's important for us, because it's something that we believe that since so many years. We actually grow up with this, with such an ideals. So for us is everything. The problem is sometimes the disappointment, because it seems that things goes. Especially this time in a different way, you see, with this such a war, so terrible, so destructive and dramatic. It seems that our ideal, it's how do you say, further and further. You see.
Yeah. We're challenged by reality, which actually is pushing us to strengthen even more our beliefs and faith. Actually,
yeah, that's for sure. The idea is that somehow God will work anyway, and will be able to, how to say, to make this, to
Yeah.
find out the way how to solve this situation.
Yeah.
So we don't have to lose faith.
Yeah, thank
So I
you.
think that the divine principle is so compenetrating us that the answer of this
Yeah.
question they cannot separate from our vision, our ideal, and our convictions.
One thing I would encourage you, I mean, not now, but to think is there anything that's inside this ideal that more specifically inspires you and more specifically you'd like to see change? You know, some people, the priority is the harmonious families. Some people, it's more the connection with God. Some people, it's more environment, how we can take care of our environment, sustainable environment, things like this. So this is something for you and anybody else here. If you feel like, yeah, it's God's ideal, but maybe look at if there's anything more specific that you like to change, that you really care about. And don't worry, other people are going to care about other things as well. We don't need to do everything. Yeah. But thank you for sharing. And I invite everyone to look at very unique and specific. All right. Yeah, so of course you might think, yeah, and so connected to who do I want to become, what I need to develop, what's important is to use the power of deliberate practice. Yeah, so the power of deliberate practice is consciously learning and something. Yeah, how do you become great at sports, arts, sciences, business? It's not by just thinking about it, but it's, you know, it's learning, practice, routines, habits, and everything, you know. So any goal you have, anything you would like to improve outside of you, inside of you, whatever, just go through the same points, you know. And of course, it's good to also get help from a specific person who knows about it. You know, if you want to be good in any area, you don't just learn by yourself, you also get help from somebody else. But most important is really like, how does a baby learn to walk? You know, it's trial and error. You know, it's not saying after 50 times, I will never walk in my life. You know, I'm just going to crawl on the floor the rest of my life. No. So the same, if you like have a determination of something, a vision, then no matter how many times we fail, we need to continue. Maybe adjust, you know, the baby adjust these moves in order to actually be able to balance, but not giving up. Yeah, it's practice that makes perfect. Yeah, it's better to do 50 imperfect actions in a week that will help you to perfect yourself than trying to do one perfect action in the week, which will never be perfect because you didn't practice enough anyway to make it that perfect. Perfectionism sometimes is blocking us, you know. Yeah, so being challenge yourself, being willing to fail, doing deep work, taking the time. Sometimes we get lost in multitasking, you know. We need more focus and more single tasking and deep work. Sometimes we're not able to do things because we're just so scattered, you know, with our focus. And yeah, and the last thing I would like to share is, yeah, it's about this commitment. You know, if you really want to make something happen, if you're committed no matter what, you know, having unwavering faith and commitment to make it happen 100%, not 90%, not 99, 100%. You know, I think you've all experienced taking on a project or goal in being totally committed, no matter what. It's such a different energy and such a different rule. And that's why you move spiritual with you as well. It's so different than let's try. But of course, you need to find the right thing to be committed to. Yeah. Because if you commit 100% to something that's not the right thing for you, you're just going to suffer. So I encourage you to write down a commitment. Write it down. You can adapt it. This is just a suggestion, but you can write down, I commit to focus on strengthening my beliefs in myself and humanity. And you can add God. I didn't put God, but you can put God, my belief in God. And taking full responsibility to move world peace from possible to probable to inevitable. So progressively strengthen beliefs, like it's like, it's possible. Possible is better than impossible. Then probable, it's another level. And then inevitable. It's no way it cannot happen. Yeah. So, and then write it and sign it and put it on the wall. That's what I encourage people to do on the beginning of my coaching program. They write this down, they put it on the wall, and they really commit to do this kind of work. So I don't know, write it down, take a picture, things like this. Yeah, but I really encourage you to write a commitment down. It can be this, it can be something very different, but write something down that you want to commit to. Yeah, and then why we talk a lot about working on ourselves. We talk about humanity, we talk a lot about ourselves. And the reason why we talk a lot about ourselves and improving ourselves, because before I hope to master the universe, I must first achieve self-control. That is my motto, you know. Also, Trifada gives very wisdom, but actually flight assistants in airplanes also give great wisdom that is very similar. Put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. If you want to help others without collapsing, without fainting because of lack of oxygen, put your oxygen mask and then help others, you know. So really the goal is to get into a new level of beliefs. You know, we have the growth stages in the principle. You know, there's the fallen stage, and there's formation stage, growth stage, completion stage, you know. And what I like to focus on is belief. What is the belief? For a fallen state, when we feel like a victim, we feel like things are happening to me, against me. Formation stage is manifesting, things are happening by me. I have the power, I have the confidence, I can do things. Growth stage is when we connect more also to God. Things are happening through me. God, spiritual is working through me. And then completion stage is when you're completely one with everything and everyone, and things are happening as me. It's a state of being. So that's the goal, to change our beliefs that when challenges are happening, challenges are not happening to me, they're actually happening for me. And I transform them by me, but also through me, through things that are working through me, until then I get to this point where I actually am one. And of course, the state is oneness. Before we get to a permanent state of this, we can have glimpses of that, you know, which is a very beautiful experience. Yeah, so yeah, really the best investment you can make in yourself. So congratulations on investing in yourself by taking the time to attend this webinar, doing the exercises. And I'm sure you, beyond this webinar, you're also doing that, you know, and investing time, money, energy, whatever, you know, because that's how you can really be the change you wish to see in the world. And one last thing I would like to share is, because I'm a coach, and what happens very often when I coach people, when they share about their dreams and their goals, or when they share about their next action step, it's actually sad, but you know, it's the reality. They share often, why are you the only one supporting me? Why does it seem like nobody believes in me, nobody supports me? A bit like my coach who didn't believe I would win this game against the number one in France. That's how many times people, even close people to us, sometimes behave like this, or even often, because they don't understand. We all have a different mission and vision in our lives. It's very difficult for somebody else to understand. So why is it different? As a coach, it's because I'm totally supportive to whatever the persons find in their heart and soul that they want to commit to. And I just support that. I'm not saying, oh, it's right what you do from an objective point of view. I'm saying it's right from your subjective inner calling. And so that's why it can be so important also to have somebody supporting you. Yeah. And also, you know, there's so many places we can go by ourselves, but there's other places we can go beyond, you know, like Hugo was sharing, you know, who can help me? Friends, family, God, mentor, you know, pastor, leader, whatever, you know, don't do it by yourself. So about all these exercises, you know, there's a choice. You can use these exercises. You already implemented that. You can continue to implement them. You can really implement it by the best way yourself. But if you feel interested, like this is hard and I would like to do more, you can also get help, and you can reach out to me, and I'll be very happy to work with you on this, you know. And yeah, just my final message is, yeah, great job on attending this webinar. If you continue to work on believing in yourself and humanity and inspire others to do the same, there's no way you can fail. Actually, there's no way we can fail. And yeah, I just want you to remember that you are already great and you can continue to grow from there. And again, yeah, the best investment you can make is in yourself, because it will, especially if you have such an inspiring vision of contribution, it will impact so many other people, you know, in a great way. So what I invite you to do now is to, because maybe there was a lot of information, even though there was exercise as well, which is good, which is more transformative than information. So I'd invite you to finish by writing down what are the 1 to 3 things that you've learned that were the most important for you. And then choose one and try to write down an explanation of why it's important for you. And try to write down in 2 to 3 lines how you would explain to a friend who didn't attend this webinar. And maybe define a concrete example of how to apply it. That's the way to, this is deliberate practice, basically. I learned something theoretical, but also like, okay, what am I going to practice? What am I going to apply? And this is how you can make the biggest difference. So we're going to have a final reflection time for you to really look at what you've learned, how you can share with somebody else, how you want to implement it. And then we're going to just finish with some question and answers. And yeah, enjoy reflection time. I'm looking forward, question answers and sharing. I'm looking forward to hear what you've learned, what inspires you the most. All right. I hope you had a great reflection time. So before doing our final sharings about this exercise about today and maybe question answers, if everyone could maybe turn on their cameras and we can do a small group picture of this webinar. So we let everybody time to get ready. Right, Victor, ready for a picture? Everybody's ready? All right.
Okay. Let's have a picture together. 1, 2, 3.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Victor. All right, so who would like to share their main takeaway from today? Yeah, who would like to share their main takeaway? If not, also if anybody has a question about anything that I've shared. Maybe somebody who didn't share. I'm sure we're all very different. We're all a unique piece of the puzzle that makes this world, this humanity, and we all need, even if you don't believe it maybe yet, we need your contribution. Your unique one.
Rafael, if I share.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, yeah, because I'm waiting until somebody who didn't share yet to share something.
Don't worry.
But I want to share with you actually just this week or so, I was looking on Netflix an interview with Viola Davis. I don't know if you know her, but it's really in the same spirit of this webinar that we have here. It was an interview about her book, Finding Me. And it's really, I would say, it moved me so much because she was so poor, was, living in circumstances we cannot imagine. Rats were in her bed, eating her dolls, things like that. It was incredible. And now she's a very successful person. So to see her testimony, of how she succeeded and how she dealt with trauma, actually from the past also,
Wow.
and how that was helpful for her to create her personality and to overcome it. I would really recommend it to have a look to that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just
Thank
I
you
put
for
it
sharing
on the table.
this resource with everyone.
But the main point for me here, Rafael, is very important to write down the things for oneself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't write down, you are forced to stipulate very concretely what you want, what your desires are, what your hopes are, vision. Becomes substantial. It becomes something real.
Yeah, true.
So
writing down is the step between the thought and the action and reality. Yeah. Thank you, Hugo, for sharing. Yeah, because you guys talking about resources here. I share in the chat. The video was talking about how to create empowering or lofty questions. There's a whole video. It's a 1-hour video, but it's really inspiring. That you can look at. Yeah. Anybody else they like to share something or has a question or resource around the topic.
Well, I like this meeting because it made us to think about questions that usually we don't think about. Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that we should. I will surely listen again this lecture and try to, I would say, study deeply and think about more deeply what is my situation compared to the question that you made. Is a good way to get to know each other better or ourselves better, and that is, I think, that is the most important thing, because we don't know ourselves enough, and we are always changing, and these questions are very interesting because they help us to deeper in ourselves who we are. So I thank you very much for all these lectures.
Thank you for being here and participating actively. And yeah, I really encourage you to watch it again, do the exercise again. Yeah, it's really, as we said, it's about practice. So yeah, that's a great. Yeah.
Hey, I too want to say something.
Yeah. So just to clarify, who is Eva?
I am Eva.
Eva, and your husband is
Vittorio.
Vittorio.
Yeah.
Vittorio. Okay. Yeah.
It's
Just to
only
know,
my
I like to know people's names. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. For me, this was one point that I liked very much is like concentration of today, because we come from the past, all the struggles and also the victories we had in the past. We came to this point and we kept forward towards the future. But we are now today. We cannot do today, tomorrow, and we cannot live anymore yesterday. So we are now here. We are constructing the future. And this is a very important point. And also, I appreciate very much your lecture. The last time I could not follow because I was busy, but I see that you sent also the recording. So yes, we follow also that one. And I really wish to have more public here because it is a very good contents and it's very helpful for many older and younger members, because this is very practical kind of guidance for our life.
Yeah. Yeah, please feel free to share with others, for other people to come. I think that's the best. I have a certain network of people that know me already, but best is when people that you know personally that trust you on the recommendation, that will inspire them the most to come. Yeah.
Yes, I will pass it on.
Great.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Is it possible anyway to let some other people also show the video, the registration you have sent?
Yeah, you can share the link of registration, and if they register, I will send them the recording anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I put in the chat again the recording from the previous one. If you didn't receive it, that's the recording from the previous one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, well, giving you still the opportunity to share or ask something, I will, oh yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you. I just put some different information about the coaching program I have. If you want to book a call with me or follow on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, whatever, I just put the links here. Or actually the link for the program didn't work. I will do it again. Yeah, anybody else still wanted to share something or ask something? Final chance. All right. Yeah, then I'll just thank you again so much. We spent 2 hours together. Wow. But you know, for me, I love doing this, so I feel a lot of energy. I don't feel exhausted. I just feel very happy. And yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate your interactive participation, whether it's when speaking out, doing the exercises, taking the time for this. And I'm sure also God appreciates your presence, your efforts to be here and everything you do in your daily life. And I'm looking forward to connect again into future webinars. Normally, the next one should be Friday, June 3rd. Should be next webinar. Don't know the topic yet. Actually, feel free to suggest topics that you're interested in. That's the best as well. And yeah, and I'm also planning, but I know maybe after the summer, because I am focused on moving, to do maybe a 3 or 5 day workshop, something like this. I did in the past, but I haven't done it for a while. But I feel like if people are interested, that could be very helpful. So thank you so much again. Feel free to unmute yourself, to say bye, and yeah.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you very much. Rafael.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Rafael.
See you again.
Thank you so
Your
much.
family.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget the High Noon Summit.
See you, Victor.
Bye.
Bye.
George. Bye.
Ciao, Ugo.